Live from the Mirage Sportsbook in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Gil Alexander from VSiN, Jay Rude from MGM Resorts International. It's time for another Behind the Book. Today on the show, football and Josh Towers on baseball. You ready to do this?
Yes, absolutely. Great time to be a sports fan.
It is. October's the best. We got you covered on Behind the Book. We are here at the Mirage Sportsbook in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada. Gil Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network, along with the gentleman who carries me on a weekly basis, the Vice President of Racing Sports at MGM Resorts International, Jay Rude. What's happening, Jay?
How's it going? Yeah, we're back in my hometown here.
This is where all the magic happened first, right here at the Mirage, our old stomping grounds. It's all brought to you by the Play MGM app, of course, the most convenient way to place all of your wagers on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
Right. You don't even have to get up out of your chair. You can see all those suckers standing in line to make a bet. And all you got to do is just boop, 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 and you're done.
Yep. Don't be in line. That's the main point of that. Let's talk college football first, Jay.
Yeah, we got a good matchup.
Florida, Georgia in the SEC. This one is in Jacksonville. Georgia favored by 6.5. Both teams are 6-1. We figured Georgia would be 6-1. There you have legitimate national title hopes. And we're heartbroken, quite frankly, last year in the national championship by Tua Tagovailoa in Alabama. We didn't expect Florida to be here at 6-1, though, and Florida is here. They got a stout defense. They are making noise in the SEC East. They did lose to Kentucky early in the year, so they need Kentucky to lose at some point. But this is Georgia, 6.5. Do you think this goes to 7 at some point?
I do. I think probably because Florida is fairly off the radar of the public at this point. I mean, Dan Mullins has got them playing really well. But Georgia coming off a loss, everyone's going to go to the theory of they're going to come back, they're angry, they're going to this, they're going to that.
Yeah.
You know, all those crazy theories. They can't lose 2 in a row. Of course they can. But I mean, the public is going to, I think, back this spot for Georgia, even though it's on the road, laying points. And like I've said before, in 25 years of bookmaking, it's dangerous to lay points on the road.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the public will be on this. And I would imagine if this gets a 7, definitely, the sharp community will be on Florida.
Well, it is an interesting psychology because, as you pointed out, Georgia lost to LSU and lost badly 2 weeks ago, 36-16. And you wonder, had they won that game, Jay, follow me here, had they won that, people would be saying, oh, this is a trap game going in Florida. But because they lost, the thinking is completely on its head.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're thinking, they want to get back on track, and they want to get back on track in a big way, and all I got to do is lay a touchdown. They should be significantly better than Florida, at more than a touchdown. So, the fluidness of the season.
We're going to Biloxi next week. We're going to Beau Rivage. You think they're betting this one like crazy down there?
This is going to be a high handle game for sure.
Huge handle. Georgia, -6.5. Big SEC game at Florida. The name of the program is Behind the Book. We are live from the Mirage here in Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Jay Rude. Let's talk a little NFL, shall we?
Yeah, London NFL.
London, England, the third of 3 games at Wembley in consecutive weeks. There is one more international game. That'll be in Mexico later between the Chiefs and the Rams. Oh, that's going to be good. This one, kind of good. Philadelphia's at Jacksonville, technically. Jacksonville, the national team of England. Philadelphia favored by 3 here. Totals at 42.5. It's an early Pacific time game. So if you're on the Pacific time zone, in the Pacific time zone that is, it's a 6:30 start, just like last week. Do you find now, you have 1 week of sample size now with legalization, are you finding that this is a great thing that you have betting now in New Jersey and in Mississippi, that people could actually wake up and bet on these in the morning there?
Yeah, especially this game, because it's going to be their local team in New Jersey, Philadelphia. Right. We're actually opening up especially early at the Borgata to accommodate anyone that wants to come down and have breakfast and watch some football with us. Mississippi, it'll be open up a little bit early there. If it was the Saints, it would be, we treat it sort of the same way. So it is. I mean, the jurisdictions really have been embraced. The sports betting, the handle has been increasing. Every reporting period is bigger and stronger. I mean, the Mississippi numbers just came out, really strong handles. So really pleased with what's happening.
Two teams that are coming off a loss. The Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, squandering a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter to the Panthers last week. Doug Peterson, their head coach, already going into, well, no one's expecting anything of us mode. And then there's the Jaguars, Jay. Oh, my God.
Yes.
3 straight weeks where they go scoreless in the first half. Blake Bortles has his 26th game in 5 seasons where he gives up at least 2 turnovers. He gets benched mid-game last week. He will start. Cody Kessler went in last week. He will start here for the Jags.
Yeah, I don't think there was any doubt there. This game is, interesting that they're both really not in great form.
No.
The public, obviously here on the Pacific Coast time, it's going to be really, really early. So this game is probably not going to be much of an event for us out here. We'll get a little bit of play to it before the close of business the night before. This game, I would imagine most people are going to look to the Eagles because they're going to figure they're more residual. Some things could maybe come together quicker for them. They did have the lead. They just really butchered the fourth quarter last week. So I think it's going to be a go against the Jags rather than a go on the Eagles for the public. And maybe I can entice a little more sharp money on the Jags because it seems to show up from time to time in weird spots.
The Jags have certainly burned a lot of professional bettors over the course of the last 3 weeks. I'm not sure everybody has the heart to put their money behind the Jags anymore. An international flight after a locker room implosion after their last loss, not good. Yeah. Philly, 3-point favorites against Jacksonville at Wembley Stadium early Sunday morning from London. Back on Behind the Book from the Mirage here in Las Vegas, Gil Alexander, Jay Root. It's all brought to you by the Play MGM app. And Jay, we are joined by an esteemed guest, my VSiN colleague, former major leaguer Josh Tower. What's happening?
What up, brother?
I don't know how he does it. Listen to you spill out all those stats every morning, all morning long.
He doesn't. He runs me
He's
over.
got unbelievable patience.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
See the feedback I give him.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Josh said coming into this that it was very important for him to outdress us, and I think he might have.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he tried to set me up, that's all.
Pretty easy from my angle.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. It's the World Series, of course. Boston Red Sox, Los Angeles Dodgers, 2 titans of the sport, and it's Boston and LA in another sport championship. How do you see this series, generally speaking? Who do you see coming out on top of the end?
Yeah, generally speaking, I want to see the Dodgers. I used to wear that uniform, so I want to see the Dodgers, and I root for Clayton a lot. I'm a big fan of him since he was 22 when I played with him, Jay, and just a leader, and never gets in trouble off the field, just always focused, first one to the field. I encourage and I like that kind of stuff. Boston's a good team. Both these coaches are great, but Cora's always been the man. I mean, the bench coach, obviously, for Houston last year. Always involved with all the stuff they got going on in Puerto Rico. So there's very important baseball that we joke around with our buddy, but that happens in January. That's prepared him for this moment. This team is good, man. I love Mookie Betts. He just plays the game and enjoys it. This outfield for Boston's fantastic. Like the Dodgers, neither one of them quit. They don't quit. And so unlike last series where it came down to who made the most mistakes, we can eliminate that. It won't happen here. We're going to see a little bit better baseball. Heart says Dodgers, wallet says Boston.
Wallet says Boston. Mm-hmm. We're concerned with the wallet here more than anything.
Yes, we
Jay, you here at MGM, not just the ability to bet on individual games and 5-inning plays, not just the ability to bet on series prices dynamically throughout the series, but a whole bunch of different ways, props and stuff. What you got?
Yeah, we got a bunch of different props on this. It's not quite as long list as Super Bowl, but we put up like a new prop that we started tinkering with in this postseason was, will there be a triple in the game? One of the more rare batting accomplishments that a player can have, much rarer than a home run. So we started pricing that at $755. We bumped it up a little bit. A lot of sharps been hitting the no.
$750 on the no, minus $750 on the no.
Yes.
But plus $550 on the yes.
On the yes, yeah.
Oh, you like that.
I do like it because of the value when you don't got to bet that much, but it's a realistic possibility in Fenway. You got to lay a lot on that 750, and this could easily happen. And we know, here's the other thing. I realize it's unrealistic because of the price you're giving me, but scorekeepers don't like to call errors. They like offense too, so you could get one of them drop balls that turns into a triple.
Well, and you also got some gamblers in the outfield out there. I mean, they're diving for balls. They're making plays that aren't necessarily, one of those gets by. That's all you need.
Anything,
is
left center on over. You're good.
with a quick guy, you're good, right?
There's a few of them. I like it.
I'm looking up at the big board, Jay, here at the Mirage. I see one. This is, I want to say it's the first time you put this out. Maybe you've done this before. Which individual player will score a run first in each particular game?
Yeah, we started with that this postseason as well.
Yep.
Everyone loves to bet who's going to score the first touchdown in a game. We kind of looked at this as the same, right? Who scores the first home run, all right? There's only a handful of guys that are going to probably do that.
Yep.
Where this, you get deep into the innings and no one scored, and it's a pitching duel, and you're off cycle a little bit from the rotation of the batting order. You're going to get an opportunity with a lot of these guys, and there's some good value up there. Guys deep in the order, 8, 9.
Yeah.
You post that before you see the lineups?
We have been, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little tricky when we go to LA, and we're working on the games that are in LA because there's going to be some lineup variations with the DH not in play and stuff.
Just favor Mookie Betts the whole time. You're probably safe. Yeah.
But that's the key to all this in your book, in your odds making, is that you do have to be aware of AL rules in the AL park, NL rules in the NL park. And for us as handicappers, we should think about the handedness of pitchers and who might benefit the most early in lineups, primarily for the first run being scored versus that particular pitcher.
Just like bull riding. Right? Does the bull turn left or does the bull turn right? And you have a right or left-handed rider. It's all the same
bull
thing.
Riding. Has there ever been once in your life where you've been like, what, this baseball thing is just like bull riding?
No, but I love that. That's the kind of stuff that I'm into, man. The little things that people don't think about that actually are, those are key to success sometimes.
Absolutely.
I dig that right there.
Bull riding coming up in 2 weeks. It's relevant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, Josh, I know you said at the beginning, your heart says Dodgers, your wallet says Boston. Let's close with this. What's the thing, if the Dodgers, if your heart is going to get torpedoed, if you will, on this, what's the thing that sinks the Dodgers? Is it the greatness of the Red Sox, or will the Dodgers make some decisions that you will end up rejecting? What's your hunch?
Yeah, no, it's not the greatness of Boston. They're good.
Yeah.
Right? There's no question about it. They do play 9 innings, though. They don't ever take an inning off, so you have to be prepared. The Dodgers have to be prepared to play 9 innings. It's the matchup stuff that Dave Roberts does. He's very matchup based and more with his hitting than anything else, because he does, like Boston, give the pitchers a little bit more freedom, but it's the matchup. Matson pitches the same way to every hitter, same sequence every time. That's good for some, it's bad for others. Like I said, you can't, JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, even Benintendi, you can't pitch them all the same way. So if I try to, I'm going to get burned by somebody. So I want to see better matchups when you bring him in the game. Don't just go give him an inning. I know he was an 8th inning guy not too long ago. Not the same pitcher now. I don't want to see your left-handers, your Woods, your Urias, who are starters. I don't want to see them come in the middle of innings in pressure situations to have to get a lefty out. I would prefer those guys, if you can, to give them a fresh inning and bring in your other true lefty relievers to come in those situations to throw what we would call their bastard pitches right out of the gate. Because as starters, I like to progress. I like to slowly get into it. I like to take my time, and I want to control
Familiarity,
the tempo.
that's what they do.
Yeah, relievers, they can get 10, 20 pitches warm and go ahead and throw their good stuff. It's not the same for us starters. So matchups are key since we're coming and trending in that right direction.
So many ways to bet this, and remember,
Yeah.
this changes dynamically throughout the series. So, Jay, you'll put up prices with each passing game in the series, and they will adjust according to where the series stands.
Absolutely.
All right, so if one team falls way behind, obviously the bigger bang for your buck. That's the beauty of baseball. That's the beauty of baseball betting. Josh Towers from VEASAN, appreciate it, man.
We didn't even touch
Thank
on
you.
in-game betting, how crazy the games fluctuate and everything goes wild during in-game either. So
In-game?
that's a huge portion of what we're doing this postseason.
Which can be done here at bricks and mortar in the casino, but more efficiently on the Play MGM app.
Yes.
That's where you should do all of that. Right here on Behind the Book from the Mirage. It is Behind the Book. We are at the Mirage here in Las Vegas. Gil Alexander from VEASAN, Jay Rude, Vice President, Race and Sports, MGM Resorts International. What a title this man has.
Yeah.
He's a formidable human being. Green Bay, 9.5-point dogs at the Rams. It is the biggest spread against in the history of Aaron Rodgers' career. He has never been this big of an underdog against anyone. I know he has teammates, but you get the idea.
Rams double-digit wins every week, so what does it matter?
Yeah, so I guess that's the question. The Rams, and let me sort of throw the Chiefs into the mix here. The Chiefs, who have covered every spread this season thus far. The Rams have a couple missteps, but how much do you hate those two teams as a guy in your position if they just keep covering, if they just keep going over.
Yeah. I mean, it gets tricky because you start inflating it artificially so that the public, sort of backs off of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when you start seeing a trend emerge where you've got, 2, 3, maybe 4 teams that the public sort of latch onto and make that their core parlay group, and they keep winning, week after week, it starts to get a little tiresome from my standpoint.
Yes.
But I gotta, and I faded off a little bit with some of the sharp player, taking the inflated number because they know that there's value there. But like I've always said, the public is who can really destroy us. And when I'm paying 6 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1 on parlays, there is no offsetting that with no matter how many sharps there are out there. You're not offsetting that money because the sharps are only straight bet money. You're offsetting $1 for $19.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. So when you're on a streak like that and the public is winning and the results are coming from the teams, you're just kind of holding on to your pants and you're along for the ride.
9.5. I would not be opposed to maybe a 7-point tease down on the Rams here, perhaps through the 7, through the 3. But it is 9.5. We'll close with this here on this. There is no team, probably right at this moment, more public, if you will, beloved by the public, that is, than the LA Rams. Is Aaron Rodgers a public enough player, we don't often use that term, but a guy like Rodgers, maybe we can, that will get offset and this won't get to 10?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, this being at home, I think this is going to be all about the Rams for the public.
Yeah.
Some of the hardcore, cheese curds will come up and make a bet, but I don't. I think this. If you went and polled 10 people, 8.5 of them and their kid are going to vote for the Rams.
All the non-cheese curds, we'll say that.
Yes.
9.5, and the total, the highest on the board this week in the NFL, 56.5. Green Bay at the Rams. It's Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Back on Behind the Book here from the Mirage, Gil Alexander, Jay Rude. I'm going to go ahead, Jay, and call this the marquee matchup of the week. Sunday night.
Yeah.
Always your biggest decision, yes?
Yeah, it's going to be. Everything's going to roll into this. Hopefully we get a two-way street and it's split money, but maybe not.
All right. Well, the two-way street would be between the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota favored by 1 at home on Sunday night. Total set at 52.5. The Saints are 5-2. The Vikings are 4-2-1. Saints coming off, I don't want to call it a miraculous win, but at least the way it ended was kind of miraculous. They hold on to a 24-23 win after coming from behind against the Ravens. Justin Tucker misses an extra point for the Ravens. The one thing we thought we could count on in the NFL doesn't happen, and the Saints get their win. Now they travel to Minnesota. Minnesota went on the road, played the Jets. Jets played with them for about a half, and then Minnesota pulled away. It seems like Minnesota, after a slow start, getting it together now.
Getting their sea legs, as the kids like to say. They're doing pretty good.
The kids.
The Saints, Justin Tucker, that kick might keep him out of the Hall of Fame. If he would have been perfect throughout his whole career.
You do remember that extra point, Justin,
He would have been a first ballot guy,
Yeah.
But now, I don't know, it's going to be a little tricky. But, this game is actually, it's a great matchup for us from a betting perspective. I think we're going to probably get two-way action on it. Mm-hmm. I think that we will get, Vikings here in Las Vegas. I think that's going to be the predominant public play. Home team, under field goal. That's an enticing pick. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of Saints backing in Mississippi. And I don't know what the hell is going to happen in New Jersey, but hopefully we get two-way action in there. But
isn't this great that you have to account for everything now?
Yeah, and you're trying to figure out what's what, and you lose here, you win there, and hopefully when you throw it all in one big pot, at the end of the day, we have our little tiny pittance of revenue that we try and scrape out every week.
This dude. Here's the thing: if it gets to 1.5, maybe you teasers through the 7.5 if you're back in the old Saints there. The other thing about this, though, that I think is interesting is that, first of all, you should know that when Jay looks away and you think, oh, he's searching for thoughts, what's going on? He's actually looking at lines up there in the board.
Big board, making sure everything's under control.
That's right. He's got that kind of power. So you think this will be your most bet-on game of the weekend because it's sort of the chase or the get-out game, or you think another one will be
It might
good?
not be the most bet-on game, but it'll have the highest liability, I think, because all the parlays that roll into it.
Gotcha.
So there's going to be a lot of 3-teamers going to this, 4-teamers. Probably. Hopefully not, but probably.
Yeah.
There could be a whole bunch of live teasers going to the Saints into this game as well, as you're pointing out. And then obviously some of those tickets are still going to be live going into Monday night with the Patriots on the road at the Bills, big 14-point favorite. And Brady's calling them out. So yeah, it's got the potential for a couple of really ugly games rolling up together.
Such a good football game. Saints and the Vikings. Great way to end your Sunday after all the other games that afternoon, and will be his biggest liability, Jay Rude.
Make sure to top up your Play MGM account.
That's right. Make sure what he means by that. To have enough money in the account so that you can bet leisurely and not run into any limits. At your will. For Jay Rude, MGM Resorts International, Vice President of Race and Sports, I'm Gil Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Thank you so much for watching once again Behind the Book. This week from the Mirage, next week from Biloxi, Mississippi at the Beau Rivage. Looking forward to that. As always, brought to you by the Play MGM app.